commemorating the Teachers' Day, this is 5th September. Therefore, it is all of us, for all of us, it is connected to our heart. Everybody wants to be, as we are here concerned with education, to be teachers. The future of India is now being shaped in her classroom, is the statement with which the Education Commission 1964-66, under the chairmanship of J.S. Kothari, starts its report. It emphasizes that to make any process of education a success, the quality, competence, character of teachers were the most important aspects. The University Education Commission 1948-49, under the chairmanship of S. Radhakrishnan, examined various aspects of teaching staff and emphasized the importance of teacher and his responsibility. Saidan 1950 made the role of teacher quite illustrative when he said that the teacher had to patiently cut out of crude and unshaped stone a thing of beauty. His role today more than ever has become exceedingly crucial in the national attempt to bring about several positive changes in the society. In any scheme of improvement of teaching and standards in schools and colleges, it is the teacher who has the key role to play. Unless and until he is fully competent person, greatly interested and involved in his work and does his job satisfactorily, all other efforts that are taken to effect any improvements in the field of teaching are bound to fail. Therefore, teacher is the cornerstone. Teacher is has the pivotal position. Unless we are like that teachers, there is a difficulty for us to be known as teachers. It is the ideal teacher who nurtures would-be leaders of tomorrow in educational institutions and prepare human capital for all fields of life. However, our impetus today is towards constructivism with relation to teaching and learning. Therefore, if we move towards constructive school of thought, constructivism gives learning, considers the learner as an active agent in the process of knowledge acquisition. The core notion of constructivism is that human learning is constructed. The learners build a new knowledge and on the basis of prior learning, and that learning is facilitated by one's social context. The champions of constructivist theory are Jean Piaget and Levi-Vygotsky. The assumption being behind Piaget cognitive constructivism is that knowledge consists of symbolic mental representations such as ideas and images, as well as a mechanism that operates on such representations. Learners are provided an actively constructing knowledge based on their existing cognitive processes. Students learn by fitting new information together with what they already know. As a result, learning is relative to their cognitive developmental stage. Understanding the learner's existing intellectual framework is critical to comprehending the learning process. Because knowledge is actively constructed, learning is depicted as an active discovery process. The instructor's role is not to drill knowledge into students, but constant repetition or to goad them into learning with carefully chosen rewards and penalties. Rather, the teacher's responsibility is to support discovery by providing the appropriate tools and mentoring students as they strive to integrate new knowledge with older and alter the old to suit new. That's very important. Teachers must therefore consider the learner's current knowledge when selecting how to create the curriculum and deliver, sequence and arrange new content. Cognitive teaching methods attempt to help students integrate new information into current knowledge and to enable them to make necessary changes to their existing intellectual framework in their material, to fit that material. As a result, while cognitivists accept the use of drill, exercise in the memorizing of facts, equations and lists, they place a larger emphasis on tactics that assist students in actively assimilating and accommodating new content. Assimilating and accommodating is very important. Unless we assimilate and accommodate, we can never be good teachers. and the student can never be a good learner. For example, allowing students to explain new material in their own work can help them absorb it by forcing them to re-express the new ideas in their existing language. Similarly, presenting students with set of questions to structure their reading makes it simpler for them to relate it to earlier content by highlighting certain portions and to remember what they read. Vygotsky criticized Bayesian assumptions that it was possible to separate learning from its social context. He argued that all cognitive functions originate in social interactions and that learning did not simply comprise the assimilation and accommodation of new knowledge by learners. It was the process by which learners were integrated with knowledge community. According to Vygotsky, social constructivist theory, learning is fundamentally a social activity. Learners' new knowledge is formed as a result of their earlier experience. To quote Vygotsky, every function in the child's cultural development appears twice. First on the social level and later on individual level. First on social level, later on individual level. But otherwise, Piaget would say individual level. First between people, inter-psychological, and then inside the child, intra-psychological. This applies equally to voluntary attention to logical memory and to the formation of concepts. All the higher education functions originate as actual relationships between individuals. Vygotsky proposed that concept of zone of proximal development, which rests on the assumption that children can master tasks that are just beyond their actual competence if they get support of adults in their social environment. Support is very important. That can be all who are related to it, all significant others. Vygotsky's approach thus focuses on the connection between people and cultural context in which they act and require learning to become a reciprocal experience for the students and teachers, thus creating a community of learners. The constructivist theory core advantage includes self-directed assumption approaches and their functions in the learning process. The shift is responsibility from teacher-directed courses to a curriculum that allows learners to define their own learning requirements, which also allows them to meet those needs by selecting acceptable tactics. A constructivist teacher exercises in the classroom enables students to have access to their prior experiences benefits, which reshapes their prior knowledge in the light of applied course topics. However, there are certain fixed situations where the student in the constructive learning process should be learning through experiences, learning through social interactions, learning through cognitive processes. Student should be active and student construct the knowledge. From teacher's point of view, he should be a facilitator, he should be a mediator, he should engage, he should explore, he should explain, he should elaborate, and he should evaluate. And from teaching point of view, it should be democratic environment. The activities are to be interactive, and all activities should be student-centered. If such things happen in actual classroom situations, then decidedly the teaching learning process will be very effective. But yes, there is a question mark. That question mark is that the teacher-people ratio is not comfortable. That is the only problem that disturbs the system.
Who is my teacher? Who is my teacher? My teacher is that small girl of 3 years yesterday only. Because these days I am teaching small girls and boys in the school. I am teaching small girls and boys 3 to 5 years age. So I was teaching in the class itself, and a small girl came. She started playing with my hair. Yeah, ये जो है ना ये इसको वैसे थोड़ा और टाइम गया. Then she got a pencil or a pen and started writing over here. इस पे ठीक है. Once the class was over, I got hold of that girl. I said, what are you doing here? I was playing, so, well, it's not such a toy you are playing with. Yeah. She says, this is a toy for me, sir. Okay, what would you like to become later when you are bigger? She said, I will become my papa. Is this all right? I will become my papa. That. One of my dearest students in this department came to me and she cried. Once she saw me there, she cried, she got me like this and then cried. There were small girls from class 8th, class 7th, class 6th. They started crying. They also cried. Later I said, why were you crying? Well, Didi was crying. So we started crying. Didi had a reason to cry. What was your reason? I don't know, sir. I don't know. Why don't you know? You are just shedding the tears here and are the very valid tears of your life. I don't know, Didi was crying. You don't have any answers. See, then, teacher as an intervention. You know, teacher as an intervention, because intervention categories, disciples, guru, disciple system, teacher is an intervention only, like textbook is an intervention.
Yes.
You can't go beyond that in saying, as the Dr. Malik referred to, when John Dewey started his own school, he was looking for furniture. What type of furniture I shall have to have in my classes. So from one furniture shop to another, there was 10th furniture shop person, the Malik worker there. He said, sir, I understand, whatever you know, actually need, you will not get here. You will not get from any furniture shop. John Dewey came down and then he started himself making the furniture as far as his own class. Furniture was to be made in such a way in which people and students will talk and talk relevant. Dr. Madhosh is not relevant today, not at all. When Dr. Mahmood Hint said that Madhosh साहब मेरे साथ आते थे, कहते थे दाल कैसे पकाते. I know 11 varieties of साग कैसे पकाना चाहिए. तो रास्ते में इनको ये मालूम था शायद ये जीन पियाजे के बारे में बात करेंगे. और साइकोलॉजी पढ़ाता था, काउंसलिंग पढ़ाता, उसके बारे में रास्ते में बात करेंगे. माधुरी साहब ने रास्ते में उसके लिए बात की. इन पे कसम रखें आप, कभी भी मैंने ये मेरे साथ आए न उधर तक, कहाँ गेट तक, स्टॉप तक, मैंने जॉन पियाजे को लिया हो या डेवी को लिया हो या किसी से कर लो, दाल कैसे पकाते, ये साग कैसे पकाते. एक आइडिया ये था जो मुझे अब आ रहा है कि अब मैं क्या कर रहा था, मैं इनको मालूम ना मुझे, मतलब अब मुझे मालूम है. यस, I was actually helping him to be an active member of the family.
Yes.
His wife is busy with the children, their homework, etc., etc. He should prepare good food for them. He should prepare some saag for them. That is the, I personally feel that is the education. What else you need? If you are not a very comfortable and very active member of your family,
Yes.
you are doing nothing. Your education to me means nothing. If you can wash your dish, ये भी मैंने इनको सिखाया, ये भूल गए. मैंने कहा जब खाना खाओ और उसके बाद जो डिश बाकी रहे, खड़ा होके प्लेट अपना साफ कर लो, धो लो, रख लो. उसको आपकी वाइफ को मदद, ये नहीं मैं कहा आपकी वाइफ को मदद, वो चीज़ तो बिल्कुल मैं नहीं की. मैं सिर्फ एक्चुअली एक आदमी को ले रहा हूँ, उसको ट्रेन कर रहा हूँ. अच्छा, उस वक्त मुझे ये भी मालूम नहीं कि मैं ट्रेन कर रहा हूँ किसी को, क्योंकि लिम जो मेरे पास था नॉलेज, आपका बहुत नॉलेजेबल आदमी, बिल्कुल नहीं. जब आप मेरे साथ रहोगे 1 घंटा, यू विल फाइंड दैट ही इज कम्प्लीटली एम्प्टी, टोटली एम्प्टी. I don't have big inferences to draw, big references to give. When I say a certain thing is to be exhibited and a certain thing is to be celebrated, is different two different statements. What you would like to become? My Papa. What is this kind of thing? Is the response coming to me from my school? Girls between class 7 and class 9, what would you like to become? This is a random survey. What would you like to become? Of course not a teacher. Whatever comes my way, even after having M.Ed with me, after having a master's with me, I would like to become something different than teacher. What is the concept of teacher in her mind? If he says that he constructs knowledge, what he constructs, I give you an example of a person, small child, 1.5 महीने का, और ये बच्ची जो है माँ की गोदी में नहीं है, भी ऐसे रो रही है वो, she is crying, और crying की आप समझे कि skies are falling down on her, crying, भूख लगी ना, मम्मा बैठी हुई है, आप इस पर गौर करना 2 मिनट प्लीज। मम्मा बैठी है, वो कहती है माय स्वीट हार्ट, वेट, आई एम वार्मिंग योर मिल्क, इट गेट्स वार्म एंड देन आई विल गिव इट टू यू एंड देन यू हैव इट। इस लड़की की खातिर छोटी वाली, इसका मतलब क्या है? Does she know what is milk? Not at all. Does she know what is warm? Not at all. Does she know pyar message? Wait for a moment. What is wait for a moment? She is crying, and once you give the milk into her, she will fall asleep. Wonderful. Throughout my life, I would help that small child to construct knowledge. कौन सा नॉलेज? दूध वारम, ये जो बिटवीन जो रह गए पीछे, वो पैदा करने की खातिर, उसको सफाई से लेने की खातिर मैं ये समझाऊंगा या बात करूंगा। आप मुझे बताओ।
I feel it is great pleasure and honor for me to visit my alma mater, Department of Education, University of Kashmir. Better late than never. Kindly, this Dr. Manzoor, initially he introduced me as administrator and then teacher. If some of my colleagues recall, I was director at the time when I joined this department as associate professor. I left the directorship but joined the Department of Education as a teacher because my first love is teaching. First love is teaching. I love my profession. Today we are celebrating the birthday of a very eminent philosopher, Dr. Radhakrishnan, an eminent philosopher, academician, teacher. He was professor, he was vice chancellor of 2 universities, he was vice president of India, he was president of India for more than 5 years. Sometimes I was very curious that why should we celebrate the birthday of this Radhakrishnan? There are other eminent people, eminent great people in India, and I came to the conclusion that this man deserves to be celebrated. This is in his memory. You see, In fact, when some of his colleagues and students approached Dr. Radhakrishnan, they were interested to celebrate his birthday. Initially, he was very reluctant, but Radhakrishnan told him no, that there is no need to celebrate my birthday. When they stressed that no, we are interested, he told them, okay, then celebrate it as a teacher's day. Not his birthday, but as a teacher's day. This is his greatness. And second thing that's very important about this eminent man that we admire, that we want to emulate, and that we should cherish is that in spite of these great positions like president or vice president, he has never forgotten his colleagues. My teacher told me that he would invite him when he was president. He would invite his colleagues, his teachers, to the presidential palace. He has never forgotten his colleagues. I am sorry to say that we teachers, when we get any position, maybe not so high position, then they are not so, that the position is not so light on our shoulders as it was on the shoulder of Radhakrishnan. You have today another important, you have Constructivism. I think my colleagues Dr. Mahmood and Dr. Manzoor and Taslima have thrown much light on this philosophy of teaching. Though the founder of Constructivism is considered Jean Piaget and John Bailey. But for me, when I look at the history of this philosophy, I trace it to the Socrates. I think Socrates is the first man who introduced it, even if he was not conscious, he was not labeling it Constructivism, but he has given us a method, what's called the dialogue method of dialogue. And Socrates was repeatedly admitting, he was saying that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing. I am wise because I know that I know nothing. So he was starting with this, you see what you today call that knowledge is under construction. You believe that knowledge is not final. You see, no knowledge is final. You must remember, knowledge is under construction. And if I take Kilyu from Ekbal, Humay ilim ta uftad badam yekin kampun giriftaari shake bash. If you want to know what is true knowledge, Humay ilim ta uftad badam yekin kampun giriftaari shake bash. If you want to know, if you want to ensnare the phonics of knowledge, then what you have to do? Learn to think, learn to critically evaluate. Giriftari shake bash. Don't accept the knowledge that others are important to you. Don't accept it as it is. I am of the opinion that Dr. Iqbal has not explicitly concentrated on education. He has not written something that we would call educational philosophy. But if we study Iqbal, these all progressive, this constructivism is nothing. This is, we label them as progressives. And John Dewey is a progressive, Paulo Freire is a progressive, Ivan Illich is a progressive who is dead, Everett Reber is a progressive, Allman is a progressive. All. Iqbal in one of his personal couplets says, Madhusha, trash az deshi khud, jade khash. Trash az deshi khud, jade khash. Barahe digar raftan azab ast. create your own path, create your own answers. Don't accept the ready-made answers. See that knowledge. Trash as पेशे खुद ज़्यादा ये cash. Don't accept the answers. Don't accept the knowledge. बराहे दीगना रफ्तन जो दूसरों के आंसर होते हैं बराहे दीगना रफ्तन अज़ाब अस्त गराज दस्त तू कारी नादिल आए गुनाही तू अगर भाषण सवाब अस्त. If you create your own answers, if you create your own knowledge, gunahi tu agar bashad, sarabas, even sin becomes a virtue, but provided it is your critical, you are the creator, you are the inventor. This is how Iqbal was thinking about knowledge. Knowledge is not final, and sometimes Professor Madhav will throw more light on it. I think that Iqbal was very open even religion. When Iqbal delivered his reconstruction of religious thought in Islam, I think that it was reconstruction. He was not taking even the religious knowledge as final. If somebody has said it, now it is final. So perhaps I think, I am just speculating, that reconstruction of religious thought in Islam is perhaps this that we are talking today, constructivist philosophy, constructivist method of teaching. Iqbal is given. Now come to the radicals. You must remember, there are two approaches to education. One that you call as a traditional approach, and one that the progressives are the profiters. The traditional is that teacher is all knowing. The traditional is that whatever teacher says is fine. The traditional approach is that it is a monologue. The traditional is that it is a lecture. The traditional is that there is no dialogue. And Paulo has very rightly called it a banking concept of education. Banking. Teacher has a 10 rupees note in his pocket. He deposits this 10 rupees note into the pocket of the students. As against this, the progressives or radicalist or the constructivist philosophy is that no, teacher is merely a facilitator. Teacher is not just this is not an university. Teacher is a facilitator. Let the teachers be shareholders of knowledge. Let the students, you see, that way the students will also get a confidence that we have created it, that I have the answer, I am the owner. He takes an ownership of this knowledge. This is one. So that's why when you see these radicals suppose that disciplining society or Paulo Freire's pedagogy of the oppressor, I think that philosophy is reflected in our, both in national policy education as well as in national educational policy 1986 and 1920, just the change in the here and there. National Policy Education 1986 very clearly says that the goal of education is to transform a static society into one vibrant with a commitment to change and develop. You see, this liberation cannot take place in a monologue. This liberation cannot take place in a lecture. This liberation can take place only when students have a full freedom to construct, to think, critically think, and come out with the answers. That is basically the essence or the acumen. What today you have a theme, what's called the constructivist philosophy, method of teaching. I will not stretch it more. Today we don't have a problem of this construct. Today we have a problem. Who constructs the knowledge? Now forget about the student teacher. Now at a later stage that I leave it to my mentor teacher, Professor Maharaj. The problem today is who is constructing the knowledge? And what knowledge? And what is the final knowledge? Is there objectivity in knowledge? Any knowledge that you accept, you say it is true, is not acceptable to me or is not true for me. Number one. Number two, it's important that who has constructed this knowledge. The author matters, the creator matters, the creator's culture matters, the creator's orientation matters, the creator's geography matters. Where this knowledge has been created. If the knowledge has been created in Kashmir, it will have altogether a different color. If it is created in UP, it will have a different culture. Now same knowledge, if it is created by one ideology, it will have different. These are very big issues in knowledge. But for us as teachers and students, when we are talking about this constructivism, it is better to leave our students how they create, how they feel, how they believe, so on and so forth.
As we have gathered over here to celebrate the Teachers' Day, that means the Our Day. This day holds a special place in our hearts as it always gives us the reflection on the profound impact of education, and that too of the teachers who shape the lives of our students. In the grand tapestry of life, teachers are the weavers who create intricate patterns of knowledge, wisdom, and character. They guide them through the labyrinth of learning, nurturing their minds, and help them to be the best citizens of the world. Rather, we can say the future competent citizens of the world. On this auspicious day, it's important to remember that teaching is not mere a profession, but it is a vocation, where we can say for which a person is suited and trained, and it's a calling and strong urge, a very strong urge a person is having, and then he is appointed as a teacher. And it's having a lifelong commitment to enlightenment. Teachers are the architects of the future. They are always in a process of instilling moral values among the students which shape our society. Throughout the recent global pandemic, as we have witnessed that educators as well as teachers around the whole world, they have demonstrated resilience and creativity, ensuring that learning never stops. And they have shown that education can thrive even in adversity, reminding us that teachers are really the torch bearers of hope. As we all know, previously we were talking of science and technology, that we are living in the world of science and technology. But presently we are saying that at the same time, this is the world of science and technology, but we are living in the age of innovations. And the teachers, they play a vital role in flourishing the creativity and innovations among the students. They encourage the students to think beyond the textbooks and to explore uncharted territories of knowledge and to embrace their own perspectives. In our diverse world, teachers create inclusive environments where diversity is celebrated. They teach us the importance of respect, empathy, and understanding regardless of differences in backgrounds, beliefs, or abilities. Great teachers are lifelong learners for themselves. Today, let us take a comment, or we can say a commitment, to acknowledge the countless teachers who have influenced our lives, including our worthy teachers present over here with us, the ones who saw potential in us when we didn't see it in ourselves, the ones who encouraged us to reach for the stars, and the ones who never gave up on us. It's our duty as teachers, as educators, to continue this legacy of inspiration. Let us strive to create an environment where curiosity thrives, where knowledge knows no bounds, and when the pursuit of excellence is a way of life. On the Teachers' Day, I urge each one of us to reflect on the impact we can have on the lives of our students. Let us commit again to being not just good teachers but great mentors who lead by examples. Let us nurture a culture of lifelong learning and innovation, for we are the torch bearers of progress.
To realize the twofold objectives of celebrating the Teachers' Day. It is to commemorate the birth anniversary of Bharat Ratna, the academician teacher, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, and reflecting on the crucial role that teachers play in the holistic development of the young blood. Undoubtedly, they are the most responsible members of the society because their professional efforts affect the fate of the earth. National Curriculum Framework 2005 recommended for discouraging rote learning and advised teachers to encourage students to reflect on their own learning. The children need to be treated as participants in learning, not as receivers of a fixed body of knowledge. NPE 1986 recommended for a child-centered system of education, educated need-based education. Now, the National Education Policy 2020 emphasized reducing the content load and providing opportunities for experiential learning with creative mindset. This child-centeredness, creative mindset, and experiential learning is possible when we establish Constructivism as novel approach to teaching and learning. Definitely, we will have to leave away the banking system of education. There is no scope for knowledge dissemination, rather, it is knowledge creation that is to be emphasized. And simply, skepticism has to go. Dialogue has to be replaced by monologue has to be replaced by dialogue. Ladies and gentlemen, we are really honored, rather blessed to have people, Professor E.G. Madhu Sahab, the renowned academician, psychoanalyst, psychologist with us, and Professor J. Malik Sahab, the renowned administrator as well as the great teacher. We will be blessed to listen from them. But before we go ahead, let us begin with the Quranic verses. I request Mr. Muhammad Imran from